Okay, let's dive right in. Here's something that kind of surprised me.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Back in 2019, right? OPPO. Maybe not the first name you think of.
Depends where you are, I guess.
True. But they were the fifth largest smartphone vendor globally. Fifth.
Wow, yeah. That definitely pushes back against some of those old ideas, doesn't it?
Exactly. Those, assumptions about Chinese products being, well,
Lower quality. Yeah, that script is seriously outdated.
totally. And that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into OPPO and also Vivo, another big name.
Right, the two are often mentioned together.
Our mission basically is to get their story. Where did they come from? How did they get so, well, significant in the global tech market?
And how they're kind of rewriting that whole narrative about Chinese innovation.
It's a really cool story, actually. Ambition tech.
Absolutely. A relentless push on the tech side.
It is. And look, this isn't just, oh, here are two phone brands. We're going to unpack a really distinct business philosophy behind them.
Yeah, that's key.
And see the bigger picture, China's tech rise. We want those moments where you go, okay, now I get it. Something deeper.
Gotcha.
So let's start right there. That stereotype. Cheap and easily broken. We have to tackle that first, right?
Agreed. It's the elephant in the room, kind of. That perception was just everywhere for so long.
Yeah, automatic assumption. Made in China, bad.
But think about it. Big Western brands, huge ones. Apple, Nintendo. Where do they get their stuff made? China, Foxconn, places like that.
Right. So it's a contradiction, isn't it? People love their iPhones.
Exactly. Sleek design, great quality, made in China.
But then dismiss other tech from China. It doesn't add up.
Not at all. China's manufacturing game is incredibly sophisticated now. Has been for ages, actually.
Calling everything low quality just misses the reality. And let's be honest, some people hear OPPO or Vivo and maybe still have that flicker of budget brand,
Sure, that initial reaction might still be there for some.
But their story is way more complex. It starts with a shared history. They're both from, what's it called? The Bubugao group.
Yes, but Bugao. It means something like rising step by step.
Okay, nice. Apt.
And yeah, understanding that OPPO and Vivo basically came from the same parent company, that's crucial. It explains a lot about their shared DNA.
And this DNA, it seems, involves what one source called sharp technological challenges, not just baby steps.
No, they were really pushing it, trying new things.
Like camera tech that was, quote, effectively 50 million pixels. How'd they even do that back then?
Well, it's clever, right? It wasn't always a single massive sensor. Take the OPPO Find 7, 13 megapixel camera, technically, but you would snap 10 photos super fast.
Okay.
And then use algorithms, AI basically, to stitch them into one super detailed image, 50 megapixels worth of detail.
Wow. So a software trick, kinda.
A very smart software and hardware integration trick. It was finding really inventive ways to get results beyond the raw specs, punching above their weight.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. And then the charging, ultra-fast charging. I remember when that started becoming a thing, but OPPO just seemed to leap ahead.
Oh, yeah. Their VOOC charging, that was genuinely disruptive.
That claim, 5 minutes charging for 2 hours talk time, seemed impossible.
Right. But it actually worked. It showed they were zoning in on real user frustrations, like battery anxiety. Huge selling point.
And they kept going. In-display fingerprint sensors. They had those pretty early, didn't they?
They did, yeah. Before it became standard everywhere else.
And the whole push for phones with no notch, no bezels, that really immersive screen.
Yeah, chasing that all-screen dream. They were often the first movers on that stuff.
So while the big guys, Apple, Samsung, maybe even Huawei back then, they were maybe focused more on the overall smooth experience for everyone.
Yeah, broad market appeal, polish.
OPPO and Vivo are the ones out there experimenting, trying the flashy new tech first.
Often, yes. You could say they were catering a bit more to the tech enthusiasts, the early adopters.
Interesting. So the takeaway is, if you wanted solid, super user-friendly, maybe you went Apple or Samsung.
Right.
But if you wanted a peek at what's next in phone tech, OPPO and Vivo were where the action was.
Often, yeah. They were debuting those features. Now, behind all this, PPO, Vivo, there's this one guy, Duan Yongping.
Ah, the founder, Duan Yongping.
Yeah. He's not just the founder of Bubugao. He's the philosophical engine behind OPPO and Vivo, too. And his story is pretty unique.
How so? Unique compared to other big Chinese tech founders.
Definitely. Our sources really stress his management style, this core idea of sharing profits with everyone.
Okay, that sounds different.
It really was, especially in that context. The more common model might have been, the owner takes most of the gains.
Right.
But Duan Yongping actively pushed against that. He really believed in it.
Believe that sharing profits motivates people.
Exactly. He saw it as fundamental. Reward people for their contribution, give them a real stake, and they'll be driven. The company will grow stronger. It wasn't just charity, it was strategy.
And he actually did it, put it into practice.
Oh, yeah. Took a failing factory, turned it around using these ideas, made it a powerhouse.
Wow. And get this, he also mentored the guy who founded Pinduoduo.
That's right, the social e-commerce giant. Yeah, Duan Yongping's influence is pretty wide.
So he's got this major track record, but he's not exactly a household name globally, is he? Like Jack Ma or Pony Ma.
No, he's much lower profile. And maybe that's intentional,
Why wouldn't he be better known then?
Well, here's the kicker. He retired super early, at 40.
40, what?
Yeah. Decided he'd made enough, achieved enough, and wanted to focus on other things. Golf, mostly. And investing.
Seriously, just walked away at 40.
Pretty much. It suggests, different priorities. Business wasn't the be-all and end-all. It was maybe a means to an end, a balanced life.
Huh. That's unusual.
Exactly. One source calls him China's most mysterious rich man. Lives quietly in the U.S. now, apparently.
Okay, but to get OPPO and Vivo, we need to understand his early life and Bu Gao's story. Like, you see OPPO in Japan now.
Right.
But maybe there's still some hesitation because it's Chinese or just not as familiar.
Yeah, that highlights the challenge, doesn't it? Overcoming those old perceptions. Even with huge global share, regional biases stick around.
But that 2019 number, 5th largest globally.
Yeah.
And what was it, 45% of sales outside China?
Yeah, huge international presence. They really broke out.
And the Chinese market itself.
Yeah.
Different story there, right? Back then, Huawei was number one.
Dominant, yeah.
Yeah.
Then OPPO, then Vivo, Xiaomi, and then Apple.
So Apple wasn't as strong in China as elsewhere?
Not in the top spots, no. Although the source mentions older iPhones were still pretty popular. So Apple had this, lingering brand power in a certain segment.
Okay, so lots of regional differences. Complicated market.
Very.
And even if they get labeled budget phones sometimes, like in Japan, in China itself, OPPO and Vivo were known for sharp technology. They had that reputation.
Absolutely. They were seen as the innovators, pushing the envelope.
Right. We talked about the camera trick, that effective 50 million pixels on the Find 7.
Yeah, that clever multi-shot thing.
And the crazy fast charging, 5 minutes for 2 hours talk time. That really stuck.
Total game changer for charging speeds back then, addressed a real pain point.
And Vivo jumping on the in-screen fingerprint scanner early.
Another big one they brought to market quickly. And don't forget Xiaomi, actually. They were pioneers in shrinking those bezels way down.
Right. Xiaomi too. So there's a pattern here, isn't there?
Seems like it. These Chinese brands, OPPO, Vivo, Xiaomi, they were often the ones debuting the cool new tech.
And then maybe the giants, Huawei and Apple, would refine it later, make it more mainstream.
Kind of, yeah. Or incorporate it once it was proven. The mid-tier guys were often the risk takers.
Why? Just more pressure to stand out.
Probably. Less established brand loyalty, maybe. They had to offer something new and exciting to get noticed. Constant innovation was survival.
Makes sense. Now, the source mentioned something interesting around 2019. Apart from 5G starting to roll out, there wasn't a ton of really groundbreaking new tech.
Yeah, a bit of a plateau period, maybe.
And during that time, OPPO, Vivo, Xiaomi, even Apple, their market share kind of dipped. But Huawei surged.
Yeah, Huawei really pulled ahead then. It shows how crucial that constant innovation is. If you slow down, even the leaders can slip. Super competitive space.
So just to simplify the players in China back then, you had Huawei,
the big leader,
the Bu Bu Gao group, OPPO, Vivo, OnePlus.
Right, the lineage.
Xiaomi and its ecosystem.
Yep.
And then the foreign brands, which was basically just Apple by then.
Pretty much, yeah, in terms of major players. Okay, so let's dig into Duan Yongping's backstory. It's pretty wild. Born 1961.
Tough times.
Yeah, impoverished circumstances. His name, Yongping. It means eternal peace. Kind of poignant, given the era. Things got a bit better when his parents became teachers. More stability, but still not easy.
But then, boom. Cultural revolution. He was only 5. His parents got sent down.
Yeah, the down to the countryside movement, huge upheaval. Intellectuals, city folks relocated to rural areas.
Why? What was the idea?
Officially, to learn from peasants, spread revolution. Unofficially, often hardship, disrupted lives, lost education.
And his parents went to Jinggangshan.
Right. Historically important place for the revolution, but remote, difficult. For young Duan Yongping, it meant, well, not much proper schooling.
A multi-grade rural school, limited subjects, mostly farming.
Exactly. Lots of manual labor alongside basic lessons. Probably taught him the value of hard work pretty directly.
And maybe made him a bit rebellious. Source mentions him being good at throwing stones, hunting birds, breaking windows.
Could be frustration, could be boredom, could just be being a kid in a tough spot. Hard to say, but definitely shows some spirit.
The big change came in 77, right? The Gagoko came back, the college entrance exam.
Massive turning point for a whole generation. A path back to education, social mobility based on merit.
His first try, not so good. 80 points total.
Ouch. Yeah.
But he didn't give up. Studied hard for a year. Next time, bam, over 400 points.
Incredible determination.
Got him into Zhejiang University, top school, studying wireless communication.
Yeah, really shows his grit and intellect overcoming those early disadvantages.
And moving to Hangzhou for uni. That was his first real taste of city life. There's that funny story about him struggling with a public phone.
Yeah, paints a picture, doesn't it? Someone coming from a very different world, navigating modernization.
But unlike his classmates aiming for research jobs, he got interested in the economy, business.
Seems so. After graduating in '82, he got a job at a state-owned factory in Beijing making CRT tubes. Low pay, like 46 yuan a month.
Oof. Not exactly glamorous.
No, he quit after 3 years. Clearly wasn't satisfied with that path. Showed he wanted something more.
So he went back to school, master's degree.
Yep.
Quantitative economics at Renmin University. And while he was there, he tried selling stuff on the side. Hair growth tonic, Zhongguang 101.
Huh. Did it work?
Financially? Not really. But it sparked something, that entrepreneurial itch. Even failures teach you stuff, right?
Totally. So, key moment. He graduates with his master's, gets a great job offer.
Amazing offer, yeah.
Yeah.
Including the Beijing Hukou, that residency permit. Huge deal back then. Security, benefits.
And he turned it down.
Turned it down flat. Decided to chase his own business dreams down south in the booming Delta regions.
Wow. That's gutsy. Trading guaranteed security for a risky dream.
Shows how strong that entrepreneurial pull was. He saw opportunity down there in places like Guangzhou, Shanghai.
And he ends up where? Zhongshan.
Yeah, at this little struggling company, Rewa Electronics. 20 people, losing money hand over fist, making basic video game consoles.
And this is where it all starts to happen. They make him factory manager. He's only 28.
Right, his big chance. Rewa's problem was simple. Their consoles were basic, built-in games only, too pricey, just not good enough. But then Nintendo shows up. The Famicom, NES, game cartridges.
Game changer. Literally. And Duan Yongping saw it immediately. Huge potential in China.
Why? Were official Nintendos hard to get?
Yeah, expensive, difficult to import legally, but the game cartridges, they were easier to find, smuggled, or copied. So if you had a cheap console that could play those cartridges.
Big market opportunity.
Exactly. So his first move was clever. Partnered with the Taiwanese company, BIT, licensed their Famicom clone, the creative...
Oh, clone. Was that legal?
Gray area. Copyright law in China was pretty fuzzy back then. And Rihua was just the licensee, giving them some cover.
Okay. But then things got messy. The agent licensing creator sold it to everyone. Loads of fakes.
Yeah, total chaos. Counterfeits of counterfeits. Wild West market.
So what did Duan Yongping do?
Pulled the plug, terminated the license, said, okay, we'll make our own better clone. And that was Subor. Little Tyrant.
Little Tyrant.
Yeah.
And this took off.
Oh, yeah. But it was tough competition, loads of clones fighting it out. But Duan Yongping had another ace up his sleeve, marketing.
What did he do?
Something crazy for the time. 1991. He spent 400,000 yuan, a fortune then, on a TV ad for Subor, on CCTV national television.
For a toy? People must have thought he was nuts. The margins are tiny.
Exactly. Conventional wisdom said, don't do it. But he did.
Man.
Massive success. The ad hit big time. Subor sales just exploded.
Wow. So by 1992,
yeah,
just 3 years after he took over.
Rewa, now Subor, was making 8 million yuan profit, valued at over 100 million. Incredible turnaround.
Amazing. And this is where those key people emerge, right? The future founders?
Yep. Huang Yihao, Chen Mingyang, future OPPO, Shen Wei, future Vivo. They were all part of his team at Subor, learning his methods. The company even got renamed officially to Zhongshan Subor Electronics Industrial Corporation.
Okay, but the console market.
Oh, yeah.
Fickle.
Right.
1993, sales start to slow down.
Yeah. Parents started worrying. Video game addiction concerns.
Uh-oh. Bad news for a games company.
But Duan Yongping pivots again. Super smart move. He launches the Subor study machine. Study machine, what was it?
Basically, a keyboard peripheral for the console. Turned it into a simple computer. Educational software English, typing, basic programming.
But could it still play games?
Oh, yes. That was framed as a relaxation feature. Genius.
So it looks like an educational tool.
Exactly. Much easier sell to parents. It was like a cheap alternative to the early PCs starting to appear.
And they got Jackie Chan for the ads.
Yep. Another huge marketing win. Parents who wouldn't buy a game console. They'd buy a study machine for their kids' education.
Brilliant. So it wasn't just about games anymore.
Nope. And the impact was huge. Subor fostered this early tech enthusiasm, this otaku culture, and crucially, the kids who grew up using those study machines.
Yeah.
Many became the engineers driving China's IT boom later on, kind of like the Famicom's impact in Japan. Now, throughout all this Subor success, Duan Yongping stuck to his philosophy, fair profit sharing. Right, that core principle. Reward people based on what they contribute. Not just the owner gets rich.
He really believed it was key. Not just fair, but motivating. Makes people invested, drives growth.
Where did that come from? The source hinted maybe his rural background? Seeing hard work pay off directly? Or maybe just hating unfairness?
Could be a mix of things. But there was also a practical issue at Subor, wasn't there? He was the driving force, the mastermind.
He wasn't the owner, he was just the factory manager.
Exactly. By '94, Subor was worth over 400 million yuan. Huge success. But the deal was 80% profit to the parent company, Yuhua Group. Only 20% to Duan Yongping.
And he thought that was wrong, even though 20% of that much must have been a lot.
He felt everyone was getting shortchanged. He thought both he and Yuhua were taking too much, and the actual Subor employees weren't getting their fair share. It violated his principles.
He saw the team as crucial and one of them rewarded.
Precisely. So in 1995, he proposes a big change, turn Subor into a joint stock company. Give employees stock options, a real stake.
Makes sense from his perspective. How did Yuhua react?
They rejected it, saw it purely financially, maybe. Diluting their ownership, didn't get the motivation angle.
But for Duan Yongping, it wasn't just about the money.
No. He said later it was the principle. He couldn't keep working like that, against his core beliefs about fairness. So he resigned.
Wow. Walked away again. August 1995. Had to sign a non-compete for a year, though.
Yep. Big move. Left the massively successful company he built.
But didn't wait long to start again, did he? A month later, new company. Bubugao Electronics.
Right. But had to lie low for that first year because of the non-compete. Played a lot of golf, apparently.
Planning his next move on the fairway.
Maybe. Then non-compete ends. Bubugao becomes Bubugao.
Bubugao, step by step. And his old Subor team started joining him.
Yep. Flocked to him. Their first product, the Bubugao student computer. Budget PC using a TV screen aimed right at the kids who grew up with Subor. Smart continuity.
But they didn't just stick to computers. Went into VCD players. Big market then.
Huge. And they attacked it aggressively. Big celebrity ads again. Jackie Chan, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Built Bubugao into a major AV electronics brand super fast.
And now, at Bubugao, he could finally do things his way, right? The profit sharing, equity.
Exactly. Full control. He set it up how he wanted. Investors got 30%. He took 70% initially. But then he started giving away his shares to employees. Ended up holding only about 10% himself.
Seriously. Gave away most of his ownership.
Yeah. Lived his principles. Believed it was the right way to build the company.
And his other big idea, spinning off successful parts of the business.
Right. By 1999, just 3 years in, Bubugao wasn't one company anymore. It was 3 independent units.
3? What were they?
Video audio players, VCD, DVD, communications phones, cordless stuff.
Okay.
And education study computers, electronic dictionaries.
Incredible growth. From scratch to 3 successful businesses in 3 years. That's lightning fast.
Mirrored his Subor turnaround, didn't it? And the leaders of those 3 units.
Let me guess. Chen Mingyang, Shenwei, Huang Yihei. His guys from Subor.
Exactly, his proteges. And Duan Yongping only kept a 10% stake in each.
And then, 2001, he retires. Again.
Yep. Steps down from Bubugao, moves to the U.S., back to the golf course.
Unbelievable. Leaves it all behind.
Truly walked to talk about success enabling personal freedom.
So those 3 companies he spun off.
Yeah.
They kept going. Cooperating but competing.
Yeah, that was the model. But the AV division, Bubugao Audiovisual, ran into trouble around 2002.
What happened?
DVDs. The patent holders, Sony, Philips, Panasonic, started demanding serious royalty payments. China's IP laws were getting tighter.
The free ride was ending. So what did Jin Ming-young, the guy running that division, do?
Smart pivot. Saw the DVD market getting squeezed. Saw the rise of MP3 players, thanks to the iPod.
Right.
So he shifted focus, started making MP3 players, and he branded them.
OPPO.
OPPO, okay. Why OPPO? Did it sound like iPod?
Probably not a coincidence. Catchy, techie sounding. Good branding move.
And did it work? The OPPO MP3 players. Big time. They were really successful. So successful, eventually OPPO was spun off as its own independent company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and then MP3 players faded.
Exactly. So OPPO naturally moved into mobile phones, then smartphones, and that's the OPPO we know today.
Got it. And the communications division of Bubugao, the one Shinwei ran.
Same kind of evolution. From basic phones, they moved into smartphones under the brand Vivo.
So that's the origin. OPPO came more from the audio-video side, Vivo from the telecom side?
Basically, yeah. But both share that Bubugao DNA, that Duan Yongping culture.
Profit sharing, employee motivation, push for tech.
Exactly. That's arguably why they both became such innovators. Now, it's funny. OPPO and Vivo aren't the only successes linked to him. People talk about the Bubugao Mafia.
Mafia? What's that?
Just a nickname for the network of successful entrepreneurs connected to Duan Yongping, or Bubugao.
Okay. Like who else?
The big one is Hong Zheng, founder of Pinduoduo.
Pinduoduo, the e-commerce giant he's connected to.
Another mentee of Duan Yongping.
That's his story. Also Zhejiang University.
Yeah, same alma mater. Ordinary background, studied in the U.S., worked at Google as an engineer.
Okay. And how did he connect with Duan Yongping?
Get this. 2006. Google setting up its China office. Duan Yongping invites Huang Zheng, this young Google engineer, to have dinner with Warren Buffett.
With Warren Buffett? Seriously? How?
Duan Yongping had won a charity auction lunch with Buffett and brought Huang Zheng along. Incredible opportunity.
Wow. And Huang impressed Buffett.
Apparently so. Showed sharp business thinking beyond just engineering. That dinner seems to have been a huge turning point.
And Duan Yongping mentored him after that. Helped with Pinduoduo.
Seems that way. Guided him, shared insights, contributed to that innovative social e-commerce model Pinduoduo pioneered. Shows Duan's reach.
Definitely. He's like this quiet kingmaker.
Yeah.
It's a really unconventional approach he has.
Totally. Sharing profits, sharing ideas, retiring early to enjoy life. Very different from the stereotype.
The source even wondered about his philosophy. Maybe some connection to ideal communism, even though he lives in the U.S. It's intriguing.
Yeah, the roots of his values are fascinating to speculate about. But whatever they are, his method clearly worked. Fostered innovation, built winning teams.
And looking ahead for OPPO and Vivo, they jumped on 5G early, probably cooking up the next wave of stuff.
You'd expect so. Following that pattern, they'll likely debut new features, new tech.
And maybe Huawei and Apple refine it later.
Often seems to be the way, yeah. So if you want to see what's coming next in smartphones, keep an eye on OPPO and Vivo.
They might not always have the absolute smoothest software day one.
Maybe not always, but they're definitely pushing the hardware and feature boundaries. They are not just cheap budget phones. Far from it.
Right. So bottom line, OPPO and Vivo's success, it's tied directly to Duan Yongping's unique vision, that Bubugao culture, innovation, sharing, success.
It's a story about challenging perceptions, about Chinese tech moving way beyond just making stuff to actually inventing stuff.
Hopefully, this dive gave everyone a richer picture, a more nuanced view of these brands, beyond any old assumptions.
Definitely a fascinating story.
And maybe leaves us thinking, could that philosophy of shared success empowering people, could that work elsewhere? What other disruptive things might come out of this Bubugao lineage?
Good question. Something to keep an eye on for sure.